What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Last Round podcast. You have me, Roberto.
You got me, Asael.
And you got me, Johanna.
Let's talk boxing. I feel like a whole bunch of stuff happened this past weekend. You got Friday, Saturday. You got Misfit 6, Kinpyn, and the Ryan Garcia and Tank.
Yeah, Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. Let's talk about that one first because that was like the matchup of the year, the biggest one.
Yeah, at this point, the biggest. I think it, far exceeds like the Benavidez and Plant, like in terms of hype.
Yeah, definitely. They even had I don't think I've ever seen this before, but they had like a red carpet, I believe, as well for the event.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Yeah.
Like in the week leading up to it.
No, like at the day of the fights, they had like a little section where it
cool.
said like Davis versus Ryan Garcia, and then it was like a whole bunch of like NBA celebrities, NBA players, football players, and stuff like that.
Okay.
They were taking pictures and stuff.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so this is definitely, as of right now this year, the magnitude of the fight is pretty big.
Pretty big.
You think it lived up to the hype?
I personally, I don't think the fight was very good.
Mm.
That's my take on it. I didn't think it was a good fight. I had a good time. You know, I had the lead up to the fight was really good. I think the maximum, like it reached its peak hype during fight week. So I think that was good. But like in terms of the fight, like living up to expectations, I don't think it was because it was very one sided in my opinion. Very one sided, and there was like not really many dramatic moments in the fight.
No, not really. I feel like. Well, what do you think?
Well, me personally, I kind of like the fight. I thought it was a good fight. I thought that it was. I kind of expected what happened because in the first round it was like very very slow, and I thought Garcia was gonna come out very like how he came out in that second round, like super trying to get at him, and I was surprised when Garcia in the first round came out really slow, and I expected Tank to come out slow. Because he's a very slow fighter. He likes to calculate, right, and read his opponents, adjust to his opponents. So I expected that from Tank, but Garcia came out really slow in the first round, and that surprised me. But in the second round, he came out and he looked like he wanted to fight. So I was like, okay, that's good, right? He was going at it, no respect to Tank. But that was his. He learned very quickly that you can't that ain't gonna work with a master counterpuncher like Gervonta Davis. So he sat him down. He sat his ass down in that second round, and I really thought that that just changed the whole fight.
No, yeah, that knockdown, it literally dictated the pace of the fight. Because after that, Ryan was really hesitant and like engaging at all. And that's the thing. It showed so much holes in Ryan's game because when he couldn't engage in the way he wanted to engage, which is just being really aggressive, he couldn't box.
Yeah.
He looked really like restricted as a boxer. Like he had like obvious limits to what he could do. Like his footwork wasn't there. He wasn't really even utilizing his jab. It was just really like, I don't know. It just showed a lot of flaws in his game, and it kind of showed that like maybe Ryan's still not ready for this type of level yet.
It was very amateur.
Yes, that's
yeah,
what
it was very amateur.
A
lot of mistakes.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes. Very amateur.
Davis, you could tell Davis was just on a completely different level because once they started boxing, like after that second round, Garcia wasn't gonna initiate the. He wasn't gonna go after Tank like he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So now they were just boxing, and it was so clear. Davis was just completely outboxing him.
Yeah,
it was a masterclass. Like he was able to hit Garcia, and Garcia wasn't able to hit him, even though he's a longer fighter.
Yeah,
he has the more reach, and he's taller. Like it was completely. Yeah, it really was one sided. But for me, like I thought it was a good showing for Davis because, like he was just.
Oh yeah,
he was just he shot.
Yeah, it was one sided after that knockdown. It was really one sided. Like every round was going to Davis. And no, yeah, I mean Ryan was doing good. I thought he won the first round, only based on activity, and I mean he just happened to just throw a bit more than what Tank. So I gave Ryan the round. In that second round, he was winning it too. He was winning it big too until he got reckless, and then he got caught. But they released like the scorecards, the official ones, and it showed that during that second round where Gervonta got dropped.
Garcia got dropped.
Or where Ryan got dropped. one of the judges gave it a 10-10 round, and then 2 others gave it a 10-9.
Wow. So
Yeah.
one of them like gave it a draw.
Gave it a draw.
What
yeah.
the?
And then the other ones gave it 10-9 instead of 10-8.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean Ryan was winning. That
He was
round big.
winning,
He was really dominant round 2.
but Davis sat his ass
Yeah,
down.
he sat him down. Yeah, I still think Ryan closed the round pretty decent too.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I can see a 10-9, but I can't see a 10-10. No, it was not a 10-10 round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that judge that gave it a 10-10, that's Dave Moretti. Dave Moretti put 10-10. Yeah, I don't know where you see 10-10. I understand like one knockdown, it makes you automatically win the fight, the round, but I don't think Ryan did enough to. I don't think I've ever seen a scorecard like 10-10. When was the last time you saw like a 10-10 scorecard?
I feel like I see 10-10s more on the unofficial scorecard than I do on the
Yeah.
official ones, like that they have, with Showtime and stuff like that.
Yeah, but no, not. I would say 10-9 for sure because Ryan won. I think he landed a little bit more punches. He was more active and whatnot. So I think just based off the volume and just the accuracy of the punches, I would say 10-9, but not 10-10. I think Dave was tripping.
Yeah, very. It was. I didn't agree with that.
But I believe Ryan's team had a good game plan. Was just that be very active, I guess, at the very beginning, but at a distance. Tank being the shorter fighter, Ryan being the taller fighter, bigger, longer wingspan. Definitely keep him at bay, and he was doing pretty good. Tank didn't really know how to weather that a little bit. He was kind of, he felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that second round, Ryan, I don't know what he was thinking. He must have thought that Tank was not gonna fight back, or he had him already because that right before he got knocked down, Ryan threw the same combination 3 times, and the third time, Tank rolled underneath the hook and then got him with the left. Yeah. So, yeah, it's really interesting how fast a fight could, what a knockdown can like dictate the rest of the fight.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Because after that, Ryan was not the Ryan that first round. No, he backed away. He was even at points turning around. At one point,
that was very.
He spun a whole 360, and Tank was like,
that's one of the things that
amateur.
That it was very amateur like, and it showed how incomplete of a fighter he is, and I think Ryan got really like exposed this fight. He looked bad.
Yeah, it was very strange seeing him. Like it seemed kind of strange. You really saw that he was just a one hook. All he had was the hook.
Yeah.
And he couldn't land it when Davis was waiting for him because Davis is a counterpuncher, and he also starts out slow. And Ryan Garcia wasn't able to land the hook on Davis because he just wasn't engaging. Garcia lands the hook whenever they come at him, and then he can land the hook. But after that knockdown, and Davis kind of started, not really, but he started going after him a little bit. Garcia couldn't land it.
No,
and then after he couldn't land it, then he would just like cower out, like he just go to his side. It was very strange to see.
Yeah, I feel like it was more of a mentality issue because when you fight Gervonta Davis, I feel you have to go in with a very like
strong mentality.
strong mental. You just have to be mentally strong when you fight a fighter like Gervonta. And Gervonta's a scary guy, right? He's scary. He's a scary guy, and I feel Ryan started off with a strong, mindset going in, but after that knockdown, I feel like he got scared. Like he started, the fear ate him up in the fight, and that's what led to him, not getting up from that second knockdown.
He realized it wasn't gonna be that easy.
Yeah. Oh wait, okay. Do y'all think Ryan Garcia quit?
Yeah, I think Ryan Garcia went outside. For the amount of hype that. And even just self-confidence that he was, bringing in, I think he went out kind of soft. Granted that liver shot, and I've been hit to the liver, so I know that hurts. Yeah, it's not a joke. Yeah. Especially Tank timing pretty well. Ryan was throwing a right hand. I don't know what punch, but he was throwing a right hand. In the moment when he exhaled, that's when Tank hit him right, and it wasn't even that strong. I think Tank wasn't even in the right position to get full leverage, but I think just him, and he hits hard enough that like a direct hit to the liver shot after an exhalation, he definitely felt it. He even smiled, I think, trying to like weather it, and he's like, "Oh fuck." No. But I think he could have gotten up. Hurt from a liver shot, body shot, but he could have gotten up.
Yeah, I mean he got up on at 10, and he looked. He was walking around, and everything. Yeah, I feel he could have definitely gotten up sooner than the count out. But like I said, I think he was just mentally broken already at that point because I felt he knew he was not gonna beat him.
Yeah, it was clear that, like you said, he was hurt. He was definitely hurt, and the liver shot is no joke. But he got up at the 10 count, so he knew he wanted to stay down until the referee called the fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, he I was surprised genuinely. I was genuinely surprised. Maybe he thought he just didn't have any more chances of winning the fight because he was losing most of the rounds. I think he won like maybe the first and like the sixth. I think he won.
Yeah. You could argue. I saw him only win one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could argue, but like the fact is that he was losing the fight.
Yeah.
The fact is things weren't going his way.
Yeah.
And he decided, hey, he got me with a good liver shot. It hurts. I'm just gonna stay down here.
Yeah, I feel like it's also too kind of it's like he made like a business decision. He's all like, oh, like I can either go out on my shield and get sparked out by Gervonta, and then have a big hurdle to jump over, or I could just kneel, take this loss, not get seriously hurt and still be able to come back, with still big fights. Cause I feel if Ryan Garcia would have gotten knocked out, like in spectacular fashion, right? Like a Lil Santa Cruz type of knockout. That could be the end of Ryan Garcia's career.
Yeah, coming back from a KO like that would have been definitely a big hurdle to come back to, back from. I think a lot of people don't understand what going out on your shield means until you're actually staring at it in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think Ryan could have definitely gotten up, but I think he saw Tank. He saw Tank right there waiting for him, ready to get up, and he's like, "Nah, I don't want any more of this." He's like, "I'm good." He's gonna get millions for this fight.
Yeah.
So, I don't blame him, but it goes back to the thing like if you can't talk the talk, if you can't walk the walk, well then don't talk the talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's true. Very very humbling experience for Ryan.
Yeah.
Very humbling. Yeah. I with performances like these, I mean, it was his first big step up. I mean, you could say Luke Campbell was his first big one, but then he hasn't fought a step up like that since Luke Campbell, and that was what, like 2 years ago.
Something like
2
that.
years ago. So like this was his first like legitimate, actual world champion. Because Luke Campbell was not a world champion.
No.
So this was his first world champion fight.
Gold medalist. Gold medalist.
He was gold medalist, but like his professionally wise.
Professional, yeah.
Luke
Tank
Campbell,
was,
Tank was a way better fight with bigger resume. Better pedigree, better skill set than Luke Campbell. So yeah, it showed that Ryan's not ready for that level yet at the moment, and I don't know if he actually will be, because those champions at 140 are scary. I don't know if Ryan's gonna be able to take their power.
So is that his future? 140?
Yeah, he stated he was gonna move up to 140. Yeah, he stated afterwards. He's gonna move 140 and try to become champion there. But like I said, those 140 champions. Do you really think Ryan Garcia beats Prograis? You think he beats the Josh Taylor? Even a Teofimo Lopez would eat him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely has some work to do. But, I mean, he's still young. What is he, 23, 24?
24, I
Yeah,
think.
he's 24.
Yeah,
So
24.
he's still young.
He has a lot of potential.
He was naturally gifted with that speed. He has a lot of power, but he just has to. He's like, I don't want to compare him to Manny Pacquiao, but he's one of those fighters that has one thing that's worked for him so well that he hasn't focused on other parts of his game. Like his left hook is amazing. Yeah. No one's saying that it's not amazing, but you're not gonna become the best of the best with just a left hook.
Yeah.
And that's what this fight showed him. Like, he's not gonna become the best of the best with a left hook. He has to improve his right hand. He has to improve his jab. He has to improve his footwork, his head movement, everything. And kind of like Manny Pacquiao, he just had that left hand back then when he was in those lower weight classes.
Yeah.
All he had was a left hand, and he got the right trainer, and Freddie Roach was able to hone in his right hook. Freddie Roach was able to hone in his head movement, his side to side, his footwork. I think that's what Ryan Garcia needs if he wants to come back and wants to dominate. He needs
a good trainer, and he needs to.
he just needs a good trainer to better up his game because he has too many holes.
That's true. Yeah, he needs a good trainer to do that, but it's also up to him to do that. Because you can make the point that Ryan Garcia is not that serious about his boxing career. You know, as
Some say.
some say. You know, maybe that's the case or not. But like after a loss like this, it all depends on him whether or not he wants it. Because he could just leave. He could leave the sport and he'd be fine. He'd be settled at 24. Yeah, and he'd still be relevant online because he has a big following. So he could do whatever he wants. He doesn't need boxing. So it's up to him. I feel if he legitimately wants to continue trying to be like a boxer, it's up to him to decide and make that change.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Plus, yeah, I think this fight showed us that Ryan has a lot more work to do. And plus, I wouldn't compare him to Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao has a little bit more. Yeah, it was like the 1-1-2, but it was just the sheer aggression that came along with it, the footwork, the speed. I think it was the speed, the work rate, just the nonstop activity. And it's basic, but like try stopping that. It's almost like a runaway train. Like it's hard to stop Manny Pacquiao because he has so much of those things, while Ryan just is tall, speedy, and just the left hook. Like he just waits for the opponent, while Manny Pacquiao would go search and destroy type of style. So I think that's where it's different in that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what do you guys think for both fighters? Who do you think? What's next for both then?
I feel for Gervonta, he needs another big fight. He needs a Devin Haney or the winner of Haney Loma or Shakur. He needs another big fight. Because he has the right hype. I think he's in his prime, at the peak of his hype right now. I feel you need to take advantage of big fights at this point in your career, and if it's not, because these boxing fans are really heavy on criticism, really criticize fighters. So if you're in your peak right now, like Gervonta is, with the peak amount of audience engagement that he has, he needs to take advantage. If not, he's gonna get criticized for not living up to his to what he could become.
Yeah, I think because how old is he? What is he? 28.
28.
Yeah, I think he's
believe
28. So like he's getting into that groove, that prime of his career.
Yeah.
He's getting into those years where like he can really make a difference. He can really cement his name in the sport of boxing, and I think he wants to do that. And I think he has, the potential to do that as well. Yeah. Like he just came off of this. This is a huge win for him. Like casuals were watching this fight.
Yeah.
The whole world was watching a fight like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
So, and him coming out on top, not just like edging it out, but beating him like KO.
Yeah.
That's really big for his career. And I think he does want big fights. And I'm curious to see if he's gonna stay at 135 because did you guys notice like he seemed a bit pudgy. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, he did.
He did seem a bit
pudgy.
pudgy. I was kind of surprised. I was watching the fight and it showed him before he was gonna come out. He was hitting the mitts, and I looked at him and I was like, I don't know, is that really 10 pounds? like maybe was that scale line or like I don't know. It seemed a bit. He just seemed a bit soft around the waist, and I wonder if the weight cut is affecting him.
Could be. He's a big boy when he's not fighting. Yeah, it could, but he's made 135 his last two fights. And remember, he went all the way down 130 for Santa Cruz, and he boosted back all the way up to 140. And he's back at 135 right now. But he stated that he can go back to 130 in like past interviews, because he feels like physically good to do it. I think it also involves like him being in his prime too. That allows him to be able to do this. But I feel if he really does care about like a big legacy fight, like the winner of Loma and Haney or Shakur, I feel he'd be willing to put in the work and fight at 135 again.
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like at 140 he's too small. I think if we're talking about like those big, the champions like Pro Grace, Josh Taylor, Lopez. I think they will be a lot bigger than Tank, and I think Tank he goes up quite a bit in weight. I think people were even saying that he looked a little bit drained during the weigh-ins on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's known to go up quite a bit. So I think it could be a little bit of that catching up to him. But I think to see him fight a Shakur, Devin Haney, Loma winner. I think we'll definitely see that. I think we have to see it. There's nothing else. I don't believe he's the face of boxing right now.
No.
There's no way.
I don't
He
believe
beat
either.
Orion Garcia. Even he said it. An influence fighter. How are you gonna be the face of boxing if the opponent you fought and beat was an influence fighter? You know, it wasn't
Yeah.
even for no championship belt, no nothing like that. So, I think Tank needs to fight. Well, I think his next fight has to be Shakur or Loma and Haney,
Yeah.
something like that.
No, yeah, definitely. Problem is if let's say Haney beats Loma, I don't believe Haney's gonna stay at 135.
Oh, you think he's gonna go up?
I feel like he's gonna go up. He looked like death against Cambosis.
He looked like a ghost.
Yeah, he looked like a ghost. And let's see how he looks like for this fight. But there's still a month left until that fight, so he still has to. He's still, in his probably weight cutting process right now. So, and the clips that I've seen, he doesn't look too bad. But like, let's see, like once fight week hits, like to see how he looks like, it's gonna tell like a lot if he's gonna move up or stay.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the future holds for both of them. Excited to see other big fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyone else though? While we're talking about the Shakur and the Davis and Garcia, anyone else on that undercard that any other fights that you guys liked?
I mean, the only other big talking point would be David Morrell, because he KO'd his guy in the first round, just brutalized him, and then called out Benavidez, and I think that's a good statement to have. Knock him out someone just in that fashion, and then calling out a big dog at 168. The thing is, I feel it'd be a fun fight, Benavidez versus Morrell, but everything's pointing for a Benavidez Canelo, and I think everyone wants that first before any other they fight any other fighter.
Yeah, that boy is a monster.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, he has. I've seen him a couple of times, and this was his like. I don't want to say breakout fight, but a lot of people were watching.
Yeah.
Garcia Davis, and good exposure, and he performed how he wanted to perform. That boy is a monster. You knocked him out in the first round, face first on the canvas. It was great to see. I'm a fan of David Morrell, and he seems like he wants the big fights. He seems like he's taking this serious, and I'm very excited for his future. He's a very big prospect, up and coming, and I think that big fights are in his horizon. If he wants it, I think he could definitely get a big fight. Probably not with David Benavidez, like you said. I think they are going in the direction of Benavidez versus Canelo.
Yeah.
So maybe not Benavidez, but he could go for a Plant or something. He could even go for a Charlo. Doesn't Charlo want to move up to 168?
Supposedly.
Supposedly. So he definitely has options, and he made a name for himself, I think. And
yeah, he did.
As a co-main event, knocking the guy out in the first round. Good exposure. I'm excited to see his future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be nice. Yeah.
absolutely.
Promising. They could speaking of fights he could have. I don't see him fighting a Plant anytime soon either way. I feel like Plant still wants to be world champion, still taking it serious, so he needs to get a couple tune-ups, to kind of get his confidence back up and get his name back out there, because he's the guy with 2 losses in 2 years out of 3 fights.
Yeah.
I know he wants to get some wins under his belt so he can get that confidence again.
Yeah, definitely. That face down, ass up knockout by Morrell was crazy. But let's say, because we want to see Benavidez, because he called out Benavidez, but it seems as though I'm not sure if we don't see Morrell with Benavidez. Who would you guys like to see him next?
Who Morrell?
Morrell.
That's hard. That's the thing. Just because people are gonna be more hesitant to fight him. First off, because he's still not as big as he can be, and he's a big risk for some of these top guys. But it would be fun seeing him fight, some other fighters at 168. Could you see Rosado?
Rosado would love to take that fight. Let me tell you, that boy. If you ring him, he's gonna say yes.
I think you could have him with a bunch of fights, but I feel like at the moment, like when it comes to like a big fight, I still feel like he still needs some building up to do.
He definitely does. I mean, he's definitely not the finished product.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's not the finished product. But I'd still love to see him in those very competitive fights. Like, yeah, this guy, yeah, he got a knockout first round, but. I mean, do we really know who this guy is?
No.
No. So, and that's not to discredit him. That's just to say, like, he could still step up in level. He showed that he's not at that level. I mean, he knocked that guy out in the first round. So go up another level. Let's see you take riskier fights. I want to see him some big names. Yeah, like it probably won't happen, but against Plant, like that'd be a
good fight.
Fantastic fight. It definitely. I don't think it would happen. Like you said, I think Plant wants to take a couple different fights.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go on a 3-fight lose streak. So.
No. Yeah.
But like fights like that, I want to see how he does against those fights. And how old is he? I'm not even sure.
I remember.
25.
Yeah, 25.
25.
So he's still young. He's still young. I mean, he's still young. He can still take some fights, but he still has some learning to do. But he definitely has the potential to. Whoops. He definitely has the potential to make a name for himself. In 168, and I think he will. And I think he's serious about, boxing.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah. Hopefully we see him. We see more of him in more cards.
Yeah, and speaking about big fights, what do we think about the Gibb and Austin McBroom 2?
Oh boy, that was a. In general, I think
He made him quit, or do you think he broke his ankle?
Here's the thing. I'm not saying Austin McBroom quit.
I'm saying he quit.
Yeah, but he definitely quit. No, there's no way you're telling. Here's the thing. I told Asael before they even fought. I told him once they were doing the draws, like in the live stream, like who was gonna fight who, and they're deciding who's gonna fight. I remember when McBroom got Gibb. I told Asael, I was like, oh, I know McBroom's pissed off right now. He did not want to get Gibb first round. 100%. I still believe that he didn't want to get Gibb first round, and he got Gibb first round. And this fight showed kind of proved my point that he didn't want to get Gibb first round because he made him quit. He made him quit, and he made him come up with an excuse: a broken ankle, supposedly, allegedly a broken ankle.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't. It wasn't. Listen, it was.
That boy quit. Yeah, that boy.
He quit.
He didn't want to fight. Which was kind of surprising because I mean he wasn't doing horrible,
And it wasn't that one-sided either.
No.
The first round was like they were both feeling each other out,
Yeah.
It was still like they were both hesitant to throw. Gibb wasn't putting in that engine that he has.
Yeah.
But then that second round, he definitely started to step it up. In the third round as well. So definitely Gibb was going to win, and he was going to only get better and better.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Gibb. He usually starts out pretty quick, but as the fight goes on, he just turns it up. He has an amazing gas tank, and
I think if the fight would have continued, Gibb was definitely going to start to beat him down pretty well. Maybe McBroom felt that, or maybe he just wasn't confident in his abilities or something, but he just looked for a way out. Because the where he says he broke his ankle was a bit strange. Like Gibb just like kind of moved him to the ropes.
Yeah.
And then he just started wincing and groaning. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he turned his back, and I was like, you can't do that in a fight. Either you're gonna get disqualified, or they're gonna wave it off or something. Like you can't just do that in the fight. And he did it, and they stopped the fight. So
yeah, I remember I don't know. I feel McBroom was realizing that Gibb was only gonna start getting them more, and you could kind of tell that McBroom was getting a little tired, and so like, well, if you're going up against a cardio monster like Gibb, and you're getting tired, and it's barely like second round, like that's an issue, right? I know he in the back of his head he was thinking like, man, like I might get beaten like again like they did like the first time, so I feel like this was his way out, Even though it was a very, very bad excuse.
Yeah, and not only that, but like some of these they gotta get a better job with these referees, because and I'm not just talking about Kinpyn, but I'm also talking about Misfits. Bro, some of these referees are like, I think they look like amateur referees brought into like the professional like stage, stuff like that, because they can't perform. The dude Austin McBroom starts wincing, and then the ref is like, well, I don't know what to do. He's just counting him out. Like, he
Yeah,
gives him a 10 count.
Yeah,
He gave a pro an 8 count. Yeah, things like that. I'm like, but no, definitely. Gib looked. Yeah, Gib was. Man, Gib looked really good, and I'm really excited to see how he does against Jarvis.
yeah.
Because,
Who do you got? Who do you
Jarvis, hey, you did not expect Jarvis to look like that, huh?
No, here's the thing. I thought during the fight and then even after, I still believe Zanetti was winning that fight. Jarvis was clearly at points uncomfortable with the amount of punches. The volume of punches that Zanetti was throwing was ridiculous, right? And that was his downfall. You know, a man who probably didn't really work very hard for this fight was, I feel, relying on taking Jarvis out within the first like 2 rounds, because he knew he wasn't gonna have the cardio for all 5 rounds. And I mean, it showed that that was the game plan, because he just quit. He ended up quit too. Even though Jarvis was beginning to get in with body shots, which I feel was the key to Jarvis to win, which it showed it was. But yeah, even though he was catching him with those body shots, I feel if Zanetti would have had a good camp, an actual good camp, he would have been able to tank them.
Yeah.
But it showed he didn't have a good camp, didn't take it serious.
Did you see the post-fight interview with Zanetti and this other dude?
No, what was it?
No.
After the fight?
I wanted to win, I come here, to be honest, I've never once said that I wanted to win, I come here to have fun, I enjoyed it, it was a great fight, and Travis got it, man, and all props to him, I just come to a point where, like I said, I've said it in other videos, couldn't be asked, bro.
He just couldn't be asked.
He couldn't. Oh, he didn't even want to win it. Oh my Jesus! No way.
What is he? I don't know.
Nutty,
It was, dude. He was literally winning. Let's talk about quitting. That's quitting.
That's quitting. Yeah.
In the middle of a round, he literally just turned his back and said, "No, I'm done. No, I'm done." Like, well, it was so I was so angry. I was so angry when he did that. I was like, "You're winning this fight. If you want to take a round off, you can take a round off. You don't have to quit." I was so angry.
Homie quit.
He really quit, and now Jarvis is in the semifinals. Now he's going up against Gib, and I think Gib is gonna dog him.
Yeah. I think stylistically that's a good matchup. Because it's gonna be 2 guys who engage and throw punches. The thing is, yeah, I think Gib has the cardio enough to really just outwork Jarvis. Because here's the thing, I don't think Gib hits very hard. He's shown that he doesn't really hit hard.
Yeah.
With McBroom, I guess you can make the exception, but at the same time, McBroom was gassed out already early on, and any punch was gonna start hurting them, after a while, after you're gassed out like that. But so I don't think he hits very hard, but just his output, and he just suffocates his opponent with the pressure. Yeah. And I don't think Jarvis is. I guess he got a glimpse of it with Zanetti, but it's nowhere near Gib.
Yeah, and Zanetti is pretty hard.
Decently hard.
He is pretty hard. He left Jarvis a mark, like on the left side of his forehead.
Yeah.
So. But so you really don't think Jarvis would beat Gib then?
How would that fight go then?
I think it'd be really competitive.
Because they both made their opponents quit, right? No mas. Like he basically made Zanetti say no mas.
Yeah,
the Duran no mas.
He did. They both did. But yeah, I just I see it playing out as really competitive early on. Trying to set the
Jarvis
tone.
has cardio too. Yeah.
But I don't think he could match Gib's output and his cardio too. So I think in the later rounds we're gonna see Gib starting to break down Jarvis. I think I either a late stoppage or a decision win for Gib.
Do you guys think Jarvis has power?
Not really.
All right.
I don't think he has that power. But then again, Zanetti is a big guy.
Yeah.
Zanetti was cutting down from he fought Slim, I think, at 178. And so he cut down to I think 168 or something around there. Around that ballpark, he lost like 10 pounds. So he was cutting. So he was a bigger dude. So maybe that's why Jarvis's punches weren't doing as much. Really, they weren't really hurting him. It was only until he got tired too, where the body shots were starting to hurt him. But yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say if he has actual power or not. I think he has good, decent boxing for how long he's been doing it for.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zanetti definitely showed that Jarvis is. I don't know. I don't know about his boxing because Jarvis was just going forward. He kind of
Yeah.
seemed like a robot. He was just
Yeah.
going forward with his hands up, and I don't know exactly what his game plan was. Was he? I think he kind of does think he has a lot of power. I think he fell in love with his power that first fight that he had.
Yeah.
So cause he wasn't really didn't have a game plan, just going forward and not cutting off the ring. He was getting outboxed by Zanetti,
Yeah.
who is a road man. Like that boy does not know how to box really.
Yeah.
That boy just came in there, wants to throw some punches. Like
Yeah.
and he was getting outboxed by him. So it was very interesting to see that. I really don't believe Jarvis. I don't know. I think he just doesn't have a clear game plan or a clear style to what he wants to do. He just wants to go forward and land the right hand, and he thinks his right hand is some equalizer to where he's gonna knock out his opponents.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't really putting combinations together. The body work was good. I'll give him that. The
Yeah.
body work, a lot of fighters kind of, especially at that level, sometimes forget about the body. But the body work was good. Give him some props there. But I don't know. He just seemed very flat-footed. He seemed very go forward, take the punches. He just seemed like he didn't really know what he was doing in there.
That's true.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can make that argument. Yeah, he is a very. I see him as a one-dimensional fighter at the moment. You know, go forward, no head movement. That's the thing. No head movement. I remember when they dropped the. You remember Jay Swingler's opponent, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Nick was what's it called? Shown that he was gonna fight Jay Swingler. There's a lot of criticism, right? And so then Nick uploaded a clip of him sparring with Jarvis. And that's what got like Nick some more like respect or exposure because they're like, oh, he did pretty good against Jarvis.
He landed the right hand, right?
Yeah, and like in the clip, like it's just Jarvis was just going forward, just going forward, and he showed in this fight that he still does that. He just still like a one-dimensional fighter, and I feel he kind of lucked out with the fact that Zanetti did not go in there to win.
A win, yeah.
Yeah, he went in there have more fun or experience than anything.
Yeah. Credit to Jarvis though, because
Yeah.
just sort of the clips that he's been putting.
He works hard.
He works hard. The sparring, hard sparring too,
Yeah.
which it's a good thing and a bad thing. One, like it preps you like, yo, I'm ready for a tough fight, and I think that's what helped him with Zanetti. But yeah, in order for him to beat Gibb, he would have to focus on like certain things that, maybe move head movement, stuff like that.
Just up his arsenal.
Yeah, like at whatever craft he wants to bring into the Gibb fight, he definitely has to use other stuff to complement that as well to have a successful fight against a Gibb. But yeah, right now I would probably say just Gibb. Plus Gibb is he bigger than?
He's huge,
Yeah,
man.
he's huge.
He look. Dude, I like Gibb as a fighter because this dude puts in work. You could definitely like tell from his first fight that he ever had to how he looks like now. This is the best I've ever seen. I think I've seen like an influencer fighter look like, because it clearly shows he works really hard.
Yeah. Do we see him beating? Okay, so let's go down the list of the people who fought. Okay, who else is fighting next? Kinpyn. How does let's say Kinpyn wins, right? How does Gibb do against Kinpyn?
That's a bit. Well, here's the thing. Kinpyn, I feel, would resort back to not using his so his performance against my mate Nate this past Saturday was pretty good. He fought pretty good. He looked really good. I think this was the performance that people were expecting him to give, like, since the first fucking fight against Temper.
Mm-hmm.
So for people to finally see him, like, actually, like, try to throw hands and, this and that, they were actually really happy. I think he did pretty good, right?
Mm.
But then again, Gibb is my mate Nate, My mate Nate, I saw I thought my mate Nate would beat Kinpyn only because I don't believe anything from Kinpyn anymore, saying that he's gonna come out a different fighter. He never gave me like a reason to like trust his word, so that's why I went for my mate Nate. But my mate Nate had like 3 fights. He one of his last fights, he broke his opponent's nose
Wow.
with headgear on. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the thing. So that's what there's like some decent hype for my mate Nate, and he was 3-0 undefeated, influencer boxer. But my mate Nate would get obliterated by Gibb. I'm sorry, he's too nice of a guy. He doesn't got that instinct.
That dog in
That
him.
dog, he really does not. And Gibb, he's been at the bottom of influencer boxing, at the very bottom, and he's risen up all the way back to the very top. So I feel like he's mentally not gonna go in scared. He's gonna go in to try to destroy, and I think King Kenny would not be able to
On a mission.
to beat him.
Yeah, I think that's the fight that we're gonna get. This is my prediction for the Kinpyn tournament. It's Gibb beats Jarvis, and I think that King Kenny will beat Nunes, the Brazilian fighter, because that's where we're heading right now. Those are the semifinals. That's the next event in June, I believe, for the Kinpyn
Yeah,
tournament.
I think so.
Yeah. So those are the matchups, and I think those two, King Kenny and Gibb, will be the finalists. And I think that Gibb is going to beat King Kenny, not just beat him, but beat him.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah. I think that King Kenny, like you said, he's gonna revert back. He might start out, aggressive, because he definitely has taken a lot of criticism.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people have definitely talked bad on his name, and I think that definitely did do something to him.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go in there and I'm just gonna start swinging.
Yeah.
But we've seen this throughout boxing. A lot of people say that, but once you're in there, you just revert back to what you used to do, and he's just gonna revert back to trying what he calls boxing, which is just move around and not throw punches.
Yeah.
That's his form of boxing, and I think that's what he's gonna revert back to. And I think Gibb is just gonna follow him from corner to corner, and use his gas tank to just keep on throwing combinations and combinations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 punches on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Gibb will win this Kinpyn tournament.
I think I predict I think Gibb is gonna win, but I think King Kenny's gonna go out semifinals against Nunes. Yeah, Nunes has so much hype behind him. That's the thing. After Nunes fought, the stadium looked empty for the main event, and it was because these Nunes brought in a huge fan base.
Oh, I hadn't
He
really.
brought in a huge. I forget that Nunes has 30 or 40 some million subscribers on YouTube. He's a big guy. He's big.
Damn, I didn't know
So
that.
he has a huge following. So
Yeah.
they want to go support him and watch him. And I know that motivates him. And plus he looked really good in his fight. Yeah, he got that KO win.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped him and everything. He looks really impressive. And I feel if they don't capitalize on, first off, trying to capitalize on Nunes,
Yeah.
because they could have an event in Brazil.
Yeah.
If they could, they could have an event in Brazil. And
Main event.
it could be main event,
Mhm.
main event, Nunes main event, because he sells. It showed that he sells.
Yeah, I had
he's
no
a superstar
idea.
in the making. Yeah, so, and he has the skill sets to beat Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Nunes beats Kenny and then fights Gibb, and I think that's where Gibb takes it though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do we know where's the next event? Like the location? Dublin. That's an interesting.
Dublin, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy seeing the amount of support that Nunes had.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was blowing the roof off of the stadium. It was literally insane. I did not, just like you said, I didn't realize he was that big. When they were announcing him, even when he was walking out, when they'd show him, everybody in the arena was yelling.
Crazy, yeah.
It was insane. It was like a boxing superstar.
Yeah.
It was insane to me. And when he won, everyone was just going crazy. And after the fight ended, everyone from the stadium left.
They left. They did not care.
It was like 30% of what
Oh
it was.
yes, it looked empty, and it showed that Gibb can't sell.
Yeah, it really showed. Which I was surprised.
A little surprised by
I
it.
was
Yeah.
a little surprised. Yeah, I guess those Brazilians got the tickets before
Yeah, they got the
everyone else.
pre-access.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I guess they got it before, because I mean, in their eyes, that was their main event.
That was the main
That
event.
was their main
yeah.
event, and they didn't care about anybody else, so
No.
they all left.
No, yeah.
And because it was kind of sad to see, because when Wade was interviewing Gibb,
Yeah.
he was like, let's give a round of applause for Gibb, and there was nobody there.
Damn, bro, tough.
Yeah, it was very tough.
Very tough.
But I mean, hey, respect to Nunes, because
Yeah.
like you said, he did fight really well. He showed which was kind of surprising because I saw some clips of him before. Like, I think it was like an open workout or something.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't seem that great, and I was like, I don't know. But I didn't know his opponent either.
Yeah.
But he showed that he can fight.
He
you
can
know?
fight. Yeah.
He showed that he has some understanding of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be an interesting fight to see against King Kenny. The only thing I think King Kenny will be very confident.
I don't think he's like scared. I think he reverts back to those tendencies that he has when he's like nervous or when he's scared or when he thinks there's something on the line. I think he's gonna come into that fight with Nunes like trying to actually fight him. You know,
It could be, but this is. I feel they were greatly. They were. I think King Kenny's ideal first round was my mate Nate. Because Nunes even before the Kinpyn, he already had hype behind him. Because he was a rumor to be fighting Logan Paul like a year or two back.
King Kenny.
No, Nunes against Logan Paul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was already a rumored like a
new
like a
influencer
fighter
boxer.
that people knew that
Yeah.
who could be legit. I'm not sure how much he weighs. Yeah, I'm not sure how much he weighs. But point is, I feel this is King Kenny's first big mega star he's fighting. Yeah, so I think there's more on the line this fight than against my mate Nate. And so if you're saying like you said that he resorts back to when he's like when something's on the line or against like a fighter like that, I feel this is that type of fight to get him to resort back.
Yeah, because who did he lose against again?
He lost against Temper. And then he lost against Raku or his last fight and Misfit. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's on a similar journey that Gib is on right now, just sort of like kind of like redemption, like going out sad the way Gib did against Jake Paul has definitely fueled him. I think we're seeing that right now. So I think possibly that knockout against my mate Nate definitely showed us that he's probably like, yo, he's tired of the people talking shit about him because he did not look good. So it's interesting to see. I'm gonna go for my prediction, the Kinpyn tournament. I'm gonna say King Kenny beats Nunes, Gib beats Jarvis, and then in the finals Gib will win.
Gib, okay, so
Gib
we
will
all
win.
agree. We all
Gib
think
will
will win, but
yeah.
two different semifinals. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can see it. It'll be interesting to see. I like this event. I think it's really good for influencer boxing because it gets them to actually fight each other, and like it gets you fights that you wouldn't expect to see. Like I don't think I ever expected to see a Gib versus Jarvis. Or we might possibly see a King Kenny against Gib, or in like new fighters like Nunes.
Yeah.
Who were like undercover superstars according to us.
Yes.
Like to us, they were just uncovered, like hidden gems.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Jarvis, a Fortnite player against Gib. What is he? YouTuber. Yeah, it's funny how that's how they started. Now they're actually in the ring. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Fighting. I think it's funny.
I think it's good for the sport and both, for them as well. So.
But yeah, no, it's interesting. I like this tournament a lot.
Yeah, who another fighter that I like is Chase DeMoor.
Oh, why do you like Chase DeMoor?
Chase DeMoor cannot catch a break, dude.
To be fair, the man brings it on himself, though. That's the thing. The man brings it on himself. He only has himself to blame at points.
His last fight, not this fight on the Series 6. The previous one, was that his first one ever?
Against Josh Buckner?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his first fight.
His first ever fight.
And it's the worst debut of all time. One of the worst things I think I've seen.
The worst debut ever. Yeah, I think so.
Like, I've seen amateurs with first fights have way better fights than him. Like, that was really bad.
And this is weird. He's definitely one of those. Me and Esther were talking about last week. He's definitely one of those fighters who it's you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Like he's athletically, like he's done like NFL basketball. He's a athletic dude, but when it comes to boxing, it's uncoordinated. Just no power. It just does not go well for him.
That first fight was embarrassing. It was fun to see. Like. If you want to judge it, I think it's entertaining.
For the memes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Well, I mean, can you say he has power? Because, I mean, hey, he got the knockdown,
He
and
did
then
get the knockdown.
he went for that ground and pound.
Oh,
but,
man,
just because he kind of forgot. It was like, he messed up in his head. Combat sports, MMA, boxing, they kind of like, So, I don't know, but, yeah, I don't know about Chase DeMoor. He's a very, very interesting guy, because he definitely knew what he was doing. Like, you can't ground and pound.
Oh, you can't
an
ground it.
opponent. Like,
Maybe the adrenaline got to
Yeah,
him. The moment got to him that
even
he.
then, it's like maybe he was just so angry that everyone was
Oh,
talking shit about him that he was like, I'm just gonna beat this guy. Like,
I think it was like, oh shit, I knocked him down.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
and he
let's
kept,
go,
kept
yeah.
going.
He just got too
literally-
excited.
He said, let's go, and he kept going.
yeah, he got too excited.
No way,
So-
bro. That was wild. I remember, cause I didn't even see the fight. I went on Twitter, and then I saw people saying like, Chase, you idiot. And I was like, what this man do? I click on the video, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, this boy does not disappoint with those memes.
He
Let me
does
tell
not,
you. Let me
no.
tell you.
Funny guy.
Bro, he can't catch a break. For instance, the first fight, and then the hate, and then the continual "I'm the greatest ever," I'm the GOAT on social media, and then the performance like that, like he gets DQ, like he gets a knockdown, and then he gets DQ.
The thing that made me laugh though
What?
was the fact that after he dropped him and then hit him with like a 20 punch combo on
Yeah.
the ground, it made me laugh that this man celebrated like Adesanya with the archer. Homie thought he was him. He thought he was him. He thought that he was gonna get a cool picture like Adesanya did,
That was cool though.
It was cool. But if they did take a picture, it's probably him doing that with like the other team
Rushing in, trying to rush in. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and that's not even the worst thing. I think that's the funniest part because afterwards there was an altercation within the stadium. Remember?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Do you know what happened?
Yeah,
It was
Nate Diaz?
yeah, Nate Diaz. I'm not sure what it was, but Chase was well, he was involved in it, but he was like 2-3 rows behind Nate Diaz, and he was, I don't know what fight it was, but he was kind of like
He was like heckling them, right?
oh, he was talking shit to Nate.
Yeah, he was like heckling.
He was
Oh,
heckling, I'm
I thought he was doing it to the fight, because then Nate gets up and he throws him a water bottle,
pretty sure. Yeah.
and Chase gets a chair and throws it.
Yeah, I remember. And then they got into a fight after.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And so there's the scuffle, and then there's like they get that situated, and then the whole thing afterwards, the whole I don't know if it was just the team of Nate, but there was other people as well who punched who were punching Chase.
Yeah, I remember I saw the video. He
Yeah.
got jumped like eight different people, and he's just getting like smacked around.
Yeah, it's like different random people, and then it's like Nate and his team as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Chase can't catch a break.
Can't no.
Um,
Well.
yeah.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, it was kind of weird seeing Nate though.
Yeah, I felt a little weird. I don't know. It was surprising seeing him at an influencer event, especially the one that he attended, which JMX and in the
Bell,
Le'Veon Bell,
yeah.
Le'Veon Bell
Yeah.
fight. Speaking of that main event, what do you think of that?
Yeah, me and Asad talked about it last week. We definitely see a Jake KOing Nate.
Oh no, he's talking about the main event, Misfits.
Oh,
I'm
Misfits.
talking about, yeah.
Oh,
JMX,
yeah.
Le'Veon.
Yeah, that one. I feel like Bell looks pretty good for running back or something like that for the NFL. He has a really good
Yeah. He really
stance, and he's calm, cool, collected. He's really good. I just think he needs to be a little bit more active. He could have definitely stopped JMX.
he could have.
He
Yeah.
could have stopped him.
A lot of too much hugging. I think his size, JMX's size, is what also kind of influenced or affected him not being able to stop him as much because JMX just kept going for the clinch, and JMX is a big guy, so like, it could be that could have also played an aspect.
But
right?
but JMX is used to like 300-pound, 200+ pound guys like rushing him on the football field. I feel like living. Wait, who? Oh yeah. Bell is used to like bigger guys. I feel like he could have stopped him though. Yeah, I feel like he could have stopped him.
But he let too much clinches going.
Too much clinchings and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and he would smother himself.
Yeah.
I just think if he has a little bit more experience, he would definitely be I would see him. I would like to see him with other bigger guys as well, like big name, like YouTube boxers and
that'd be
stuff
cool.
like that.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Well,
But
what'd you think?
I think this fight showed JMX is not close to a high pedigree level compared to what he was really hyped up to be. I feel they were trying to hype him up to be the next, or just another big name in the influencer boxing, like a Jake Paul, KSI, which is why I feel like they're trying to do that for him and for Jay Swingler. But, I mean, because they've been main eventing them. And I was surprised that JMX even got a main event for this fight. If anything, I feel Waleed would have been a way better main event headliner than JMX. But, like I said, I think they're trying to build up JMX to be that type of another superstar. And he didn't pass the test, you know. He fell short. He looked really sloppy. He did not look very good. I think it was a very bad performance.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think that, like you said, they were trying to build him up, and I don't know if they thought this was going to be an easy fight or if they thought, like, he was going to breeze past him, but Le'Veon Bell took the show, you know? He definitely beat him convincingly, and I like, let's say halfway through the fight, I think that JMX, like, at that point didn't want anymore.
He didn't want to.
Yeah,
no, you could
was
tell.
just, he didn't really want to fight. He was just clinching. He was just trying to run, like, trying to survive.
Yeah.
Just, so, but Le'Veon Bell, I think that was a good performance by him. Like, I really didn't think that much he was gonna have like a career in this. Like, he headlined. Like,
Yeah,
now
he headlined.
He's like he's in talks with influencer boxing now. Like, he's in it now. It'd be interesting to see his career because he's a big boy and there's not really that many big guys in influencer boxing.
That's true. Yeah.
There's not really like giants because he's you know what I'm saying, he's a big boy. So I'm not sure who he could fight, but hopefully they get a fight for him.
Yeah, they could,
and hopefully he continues to steal the show. Yeah. But my personal fight of the night was Waleed, like you said. I think Waleed definitely was the fight that should have headlined, and the fight that I feel like everyone kind of wanted to see, because, you know, I want that Waleed versus Dean the Great rematch. Everyone wants that, and I want it to happen so bad. Hopefully it gets agreed on after this fight, because after the fight, Waleed was talking his shit.
Oh, that's the thing. Yes, I think influencer boxing needed a someone with the personality like Waleed, who's really verbal on what he's feeling, and he's not afraid to let it show. He's really that. It's like kind of like just like that bad boy vibe, you know, that people like the thuggy, you know, kind of dude that they get.
It's like a McGregor Mayweather type of just like.
He just has that persona, just loud, you know, and like he's good too. So like he's able to back it up, which is why people like him. And and then he also gets like the whole he was winning the fight against, you know, Dean, you know, this and that. So like there's a lot of hype for the man, right? They're like, oh, like if he gets a rematch, he'll for sure like beat him this time, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I did notice in the fight that it went in this last fight, while he still hasn't learned to keep his lead hand up, he still had it really low, and I mean, Dean caught him because
with the right hand.
Yeah, because he had his hands low like that, so. I don't know. I feel it may be something that Waleed should probably look into covering up, because it will land like that right hand from Dean. Like if it landed once, it can land again. You know? Yeah.
Plus he's though against Dean, are they the same height?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, but like he's small, so he definitely has to in that weight, 135.
Yeah.
Yeah, against like he definitely has to raise his hand a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like against. The other dude wasn't that tall, no?
No, he was
no, but he was like.
Yeah, he was just.
Yeah, it's just little corrections I need to make, but I definitely see a rematch between them two. Waleed winning.
Yeah, I see Waleed winning. Yeah, I think
I would even go as far to say that Dean is kind of running away from that match.
I believe he is. Yeah. I believe Dean. You know when you're in a fight, and you know when you're losing, you know when you know you're getting that class. I know for a fact, Dean was during that first fight. He was like, damn, like I'm getting clobbered out here. He got dropped twice. He was getting hit hard, and I think he's really riding the wave right now with the whole I knocked you out, you know, and this and that. Hopefully the fight gets made later this year. If it doesn't get made, I firmly believe it's from Dean's team, because Waleed verbally made it clear he wants that rematch, and if it doesn't happen, I feel like it's on Dean.
Yeah, I think it definitely took some away from Waleed's pride. He definitely wants that get back.
He does. Oh,
because he was winning the fight, like you say. Like everyone knows. Dean knows. Waleed knows. The world knows. that Waleed was outclassing Dean.
Yeah.
And he got caught because he got reckless, and also it was in part of his fault too, because he got up and just turned his back, which is a big no-no in boxing.
Yeah, exactly.
If you turn your back, you're pretty much saying like you don't want to fight.
Yeah.
Like so, and I don't know if he didn't know that, or I don't know if he wasn't even thinking straight. I don't know, but he definitely wants that get back, and I think like you said, if that fight doesn't get made, Dean the Great does not want that fight. Then
That's on him.
It's him saying no. It's him. His promoters. Hey, you want to fight Waleed again? No. So. But I really want that fight. I think the world wants that. I think we need that fight.
Yeah, it needs to be made.
It needs, because Waleed is just gonna keep on tearing through the competition.
Yeah.
Like no one else, even Dean the Great, can't beat him at that weight class. That I've seen. In that weight class, no influencer is gonna beat Waleed.
No, he's the guy. Yeah, he is the guy. He just does not have the belt to prove it.
He just doesn't have the belt to prove it, and he's like the uncrowned king.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people also think that as well. And
Yeah.
if Dean really wants respect and really wants to say, "Hey, I am the kingpin. I'm number one," you're gonna have to fight him.
Yeah, that's definitely a you could say it's a legacy fight in influencer boxing, because you have Waleed, who's personally I think Waleed should stay doing influencer boxing rather than going traditional pro. Even though he's mentioned that he wants to go traditional pro, I feel this influencer boxer is gonna keep on growing. And it's gonna grow so much to the point it's gonna have like a bunch of fighters and like a bunch of divisions, and it's gonna make it like look like it's gonna be like legit. So I feel Waleed could really, if he really thinks about it, he could cement like a legacy in influencer boxing, which would be, I think, pretty crazy.
I think it's a great idea. I don't know why he'd want to go into like traditional boxing, because everyone is just gonna like. I feel like people won't take him serious. I feel like people won't even like look his way. He's probably gonna have a lot of complications. I'd love to see him stay in influencer boxing. He like you said, it's a growing business and it's here to stay.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep on fighting. They're gonna keep on making fights, having events, renewing the DAZN. Like he's fighting on DAZN. I don't think he really like. You're pretty much already made it. Like
you're fighting on a big network.
Yeah, like
a lot of people would kill to be in that position that you're in. Yeah, like so much fighters who are good who don't get like recognition like that. And you're an influencer. You were a novice boxer.
Yeah, so he's
fighting on the zone.
He's gonna and that's where the money is as well. Like if he goes to traditional boxing, he's gonna have to climb the rankings, fight like. You know what I'm saying? Not that big guys, not get paid as much. Like, you're in the zone. I'm sure he's getting paid very hefty. So,
yeah, I could imagine.
I mean, I would advise him to stay in the zone, stay in Misfits. I would advise him to rule the division with an iron fist, you know?
No, yeah, he could. Because he can.
Yeah, because he can. So, hopefully he stays. Hopefully we get big fights from him, because he's one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, I think he's one of my favorite ones. I think he's definitely top 10. Pound for pound best influencer fighters, and if he beats Dean, then he's undoubtedly top 5 at that point.
Yeah, definitely. I had no idea about this. I didn't know he wanted to do like the traditional like boxing thing.
Yeah.
I just think it makes sense for him to stay. Like, what weight would he even go at? Like, he's fighting at 135 right now. Possibly, if he were to go more traditional, has he stated what he would? No, he would have to go pretty lower. Yeah, because he has flaws a little bit.
Yeah, he does have flaws. That's the thing. He was a novice boxer. I don't think he even went open. His golden gloves were just novice.
He was the novice.
Yeah, novice division. Yeah.
Novice division.
And so I do think he should really stick to
yeah, and he should stay as an influencer boxer instead, because I think he has more potential than Dean.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it would make sense for him to stay. And so hopefully he stays, and hopefully we see more of him.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully he does. Yeah, because I feel because since it's a growing business, there's already like a handful of influencers who are joining the 130, 135.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that the guy who fought Waleed 135, he's gonna be joining. Also, like the pizza guy.
Uncle Pizza.
Uncle Pizza 130, 135 too. They're both 130, 135. And then you have like some of these other like
I don't know
influencers like on Twitter who are also joining, who are gonna be
rumored
to join,
like the SBC stuff like that.
Yeah,
little things.
You can have fighters from there starting to like come up and stuff like that.
Oh,
so the 130, 135 is gonna keep getting more and more stacked, and so if Waleed could just dominate and just reign over that
Yeah.
division if he'd like, if he
Yeah.
sticks to it.
Be the king.
Yeah, be the king of the
King.
yeah, and then like after like I decide to retire and be like, oh, look at this man's pedigree, look at his resume. It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy to think about it like in 10 years.
In 10 years?
How influencer boxing would look, and
Yeah.
after like fighters start retiring, you know, because we're gonna see like KSI retire within like the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So then once you look at their resume, you're like, oh, remember when he fought this guy, you know, the fight against Logan Paul, the rematch, crazy stuff, you know.
Oh my god. Yeah. Very interesting to see. Yeah. Is there any other fights before we wrap this up? Is there any other fights that we want to see? Like, are we excited about? Like for me, I would say like Loma and Haney. That's a definitely.
Oh
like,
yeah, I think that's the next big one for me. I mean, I'm interested in seeing how Canelo fights Ryder, but I think Canelo should take out Ryder with. I think he should knock him out. I think it has to be a knockout for Canelo because he has not looked good in his last performances. Even though he beat Golovkin, he still got heavily criticized by the way he ended that fight because he lost a lot of those final rounds. Yeah. So I feel Canelo needs to make a statement in this fight. Plus, he's fighting at home. So he needs to really showcase and get that knockout and then say, like, hey, like, I'm still here. Because everyone, like, they're throwing out the fact that Gervonta is face of boxing now. They're saying, oh, like, this other fighter, you know, they're throwing everyone out. And Canelo seems to be, like, getting just, like, the dirt put on him. You know, they're trying to bury him. So I feel he really needs to, like, come out and perform big in May.
Yeah, I think he has to show that, like, hey, I'm the face of boxing.
Yeah.
Hey, no one's a face. Like, I'm still the face of boxing. I'm still here. I'm still number one. And,
Still undisputed.
yeah, he's still undisputed.
Undisputed king, yeah. So
he's still definitely, and I think he will get the knockout. Well, I mean, I don't know that much about Ryder, but just based on, you know, like, he's kind of obligated.
he's
too.
obligated
He's
to knock
obligated
out.
to get the knockout. Like, he wants to make a good impression, and he also wants, I think he stated he wants the Bivol rematch after.
Yeah, he does.
Because he said he's not even that interested, or not that he's not interested, but he'd rather fight Bivol than fight Benavidez.
Yeah.
So he wants that Bivol rematch. We want to see show a good performance. You know, let's see it. Yeah, and yeah, I'm excited about that. Loma Haney, you know, I want to see KSI as well. KSI versus Fournier.
Oh, Fournier, yeah, the next month too. Yeah,
No, that's another good
couple
one.
fights there.
You know, so yeah, we got some fights in the making in the future.
and we
You
got
know,
some good summer fights too.
yeah,
we're
man.
gonna look forward
Some
to.
good summer fights. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Excited too.
Yeah. And so I think we'll just end it here.
Mhm.
Let us know what other fights you guys want to see in the future. What more fights, regular boxing, influencer boxing. Let us know what you guys think. Of
I
this.
think we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. With that, we'll sign off. This is Roberto.
This is Asael.
Is it Johanan?
You know, like, comment, subscribe, tell us your opinions, and we'll see you next week.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Peace.